Jingle bells sway and jingle bells. Are you in the Christmas mood yet?
I am. I have
Okay.
been. I see you.
Are we on the air yet? Oh, we're on the air.
I see you got your boy shirt on today.
I remember. Oh, cookies. Hi, folks. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Gina.
And this is not the official show, so this is a little bit more relaxed than the very relaxed show we normally have. we just go on a little early because we wanted to make sure all the systems are working, and we were supposed to go on 16 minutes ago, but our technical person was just not up to snuff today. But we were blurry for a while. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I made some cookies the other day. This is a request. I made, what do I make? A molasses cookie.
Molasses.
And they came out, I think my wife broke one of her false teeth on them. And I tried to bite in, and I really had to work at it. So if there's anybody out there that's got a good molasses recipe for me that I can try, and then I'll try it, and if they're up to snuff, I'll bring them in, and we'll talk about them on the next show and thank the person. So send me a recipe for molasses cookie. Now, don't give me the one that's on the jar. I have that one. And that's the one I used, but they should not come out hard as a rock.
But you made them before and they were okay.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened.
Maybe you missed something.
Well, I would never do that.
Never. No, not at all.
Oh, did I tell you? Oh, Merry Christmas kind of a thing. This is our show before Christmas. I'm bringing back an old timer for
the what?
Christmas Day to eat. What do you think I'm bringing back? We haven't had it in a good while.
Oh, you had me confused. That's not
good.
hard to do. But for Christmas dinner, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, coleslaw.
Nope.
I don't know.
I'm going to make shrimp jambalaya.
Oh, yum.
Remember I used to make that a lot, and I haven't made it in years.
The boys will be very excited.
I already bought the shrimp and bought a bunch of the other stuff, but I have to go buy some more. If you're just tuning in, we're just kind of hanging out for the next few minutes for the official. Oh, hi, thanks. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. We didn't have this part of the show, so I'm going to do this. A gentleman called me, put my glasses on. I don't know whether you noticed, I don't wear my glasses much anymore, but I do need them to read. Go ahead. Am I interrupting anything?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Richard Britton.
Okay.
Sent me some pigeons for one of our future auctions. And I wanted to show them to you. Look at that. This is, of course, an Indian fantail. He sent me 2 pair of pure white Indian fantails. And we're not going to have, can you smell it in the box?
Look.
Oh, my goodness.
Veronica.
Oh, let's talk about that. Somebody's going to have to go get me a paper towel or something. But can you see that? Is that on screen? Whew, Toogie, it smells in here. That is green, and I get so many calls from people. I'll cover it up.
Thank you.
From people who say, my pigeons are pooping green. And I'll ask them a few questions. We're going to have to do something about this. And invariably, you can tell this show is live for the girls. Somebody go open the door. They call the studio. What are you doing pooping on a table? Anyway, that's what stress does. When I picked up that bird, it became very stressed, and it pooped. And it pooped light green with a little bit of yellow. So it is a healthy bird under stress. We need some help for if Kim is watching the show. Hey, Kim, come over here and open the door because I can't get in. Quit, Kim! All right, we have 2 more minutes. See, live television. What I wanted to show you those, and we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different things, but it's rather stuffy in here right now. Open the door, please, all the way.
It's open.
Okay. Oh, there, thank you. Live television. Only on Boys on Facebook will you see a live pigeon pooping Thank God he didn't get it on me on our table. All right, we got
Anyways.
another minute. It's breeding season. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. But I think you should.
Just a little bit because I've got a headache. Thank
Can
you.
you smell it? I wanted to mention this is the time of the year where you really should be ordering in your breeding supplies, and we're going to talk about some other things. But I've been wanting to mention, you order your nest bowls now. Don't wait until the birds start laying. So if you don't have any nest bowls left over from last year, we've talked about them before. We have the paper ones, the plastic ones, the weaved ones, the
Heavy
solid,
duty.
yeah, heavy duty. We have the clay,
European clays are out of stock.
Belgium.
Belgium.
Get a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's officially 2:59. Why don't we start the show?
It's
Or do
3
we have
o'clock.
to? Oh, it's 3 o'clock. Okay. Go ahead. If you guys weren't watching this show the last 5 minutes, you missed the real blooper. A real
Anyways,
blooper.
welcome to Foys on Facebook. My name's Gina.
My name's Jerry.
Thank you for tuning in with us. We appreciate you. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate all your questions that you ask us. Today's show, we're going to be talking about breeding. We're going to be talking about the new shipping boxes that we just received in. They've been out for a little while now, but we just got them in. We're also going to be talking about our upcoming shows that we're going to be attending. And we're going to be talking about the year bands and vaccinations.
Basket.
And a new basket.
A brand new basket that we're going to be.
Brand new deluxe basket.
For those of you who, this is the time of the year where we get a lot of calls wanting our catalog. And Gina and I and Veronica have been working it in between all the other things that are happening because we travel to shows and just we're thankful, I think, partially to this show and to our company. Our business has been crazy. We love it. Believe me, we love it. But because business was so busy, we just haven't been able to give the time to the catalog that we'd like to. But we will have a new catalog. We're hoping to have it ready by the end of January. So if you're a customer now and you've ordered from us, the catalog, no, we don't send them automatically, right? What we'll do around the first of the year, we'll start sending catalogs out. But give us a call in January, and we'll be close to getting them done.
In February, call us, please. Thank you.
And we hope you like it. Have we decided on the cover yet for the catalog? We've been working on it. I can still smell stuff in here. Can you? No? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyways, I interrupted you as usual.
No. Mm-mm.
I wanted to talk about these before we get into that.
Sure.
Because we're going to talk about bands. And talking about the nest bowls, this is something you just can't be without when you're breeding pigeons. Now, when I sell pigeons, the breeders, before they go out, I put a blue band on the male and a pink band on the female. And in some of the breeds, especially the rollers, sometimes they're hard to tell. So I'll spend some time in the loft, and as soon as I see a male cooing, I'll go get it and put the band on it. And when I see them driving, I know which one is the hen. I'll put the band on it. Tell me which ones are hens or cocks. They come in all the sizes, so no matter what breed you have, we have them. And we have a great assortment of colors. Sometimes I'll put a pink band on the hen and a blue band on the cock, but it's a very special pair. So we sell what's called narrow line bands, and I'll put a narrow line band maybe in bronze or orange or yellow or something. And when I see two bronze bands, I know that's a mated pair. So it's just a good idea to have these snap-on bands or lock-on bands on hand.
So they also come in numbered bands also.
Thank you.
Some people like to mark a number 1 pink on a female, number 1 blue on a male. To know that's a mated pair.
I'm one of those. On the birds that I'm really particular about, I'll put the one on the cock, one on the hen. That's pair number 1. Mm-hmm. So, and I put my birds together. We get a lot of questions about that, or I do this time of the year. Is it too cold to be breeding? The last few days have been very cold. We're down to 16 this morning. and it's not an issue at all for me. But if you're breeding, keep in mind that if your breeding pair are very young, let's say they're 2019 birds, very young, many times you're going to lose one of the young or both of the young, the first or second round from that breeding pair. That's not so much from the weather, it's the young birds are just learning what to do and set the eggs tight and things like that. And I do not have a heated loft, and I'm able to breed pretty much this time of the year. I've already got orders for a lot of white ones, so I'm breeding as early as I possibly can. Did I interrupt you again before?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all.
What's on our agenda?
We already discussed that.
Okay.
So we can talk about, well, since we're talking about bands, we'll go ahead and talk about the year bands.
Okay.
So the 2020 year bands, we've received everything with the exception of the AU bands.
IF.
No, we received IF.
Oh, the IFs came in. I didn't know
Yes,
that.
partial order.
Okay.
Not all of them. So once we didn't get our full order of IF bands, so once those are out, we won't have any more till mid to end of January. So if you want the IFs, you need to order them. And we did start shipping our year bands already, so some people may start receiving them now, or by next week you'll be receiving them.
It's 2020 bands. Yeah. So once again, we'll go through the same thing we go through every year. I want the low numbers, and it's just not that easy to do. Unless you want to order custom bands with your name or something. But the regular AUIF, we just start from the first order and with the lower numbers and keep going that way. So if you want low bands, call as soon as you can. We can't even guarantee that you certainly can't order 1 through 100 and expect to get them at this time of the year, right?
Because we start taking pre-orders in January, so when you pre-order in January, people ask for a certain series of numbers, and we try to accommodate that. So everybody that asked for a specific series got theirs because people wanted different series. So
Do it early.
Manny,
Man, do you know Manny?
yeah,
Is he really from Alaska?
no.
Oh, okay.
So the year band, so we have the AU, the IF, the IPB, and the MPAs, and they're all red this year. Every band is red.
First time that's happened. So
Yeah.
I used to like the different colors myself.
Yeah.
But all right. We were chuckling. There's a gentleman who likes to literally pull our feathers. He wants to know. Go ahead. You read the question.
Do birds squat as they walk? Asking because it's really cold in Alaska.
Funny part of it is when I saw that question on the board, I was thinking we do send, or I've sent birds to Alaska on a number of occasions. We have a real good customer who lives, believe it or not, in North Pole, Alaska. There really is a town called the North Pole, and I've sent him some pigeons. So Manny, back off. Although we enjoy it.
Leave that there because there's poop there.
Odoriferous, yes, the odor.
Yeah.
If you didn't, well, if you weren't here at the beginning of the
You
show,
don't wanna know.
I was showing Emma a really pretty Indian fantail, and it decided to leave a message. Okay.
Okay, so you can talk about vaccinations now.
Okay. Did we talk about the bands? Is that
We
what?
did.
Okay. Look at all of that. I get a lot of questions about vaccinating, and it's a really easy thing to do. I do it myself. Learned it myself, so it's nothing to be concerned about, but it really is a necessity. And a lot of you folks don't put your birds together to breed maybe in March or February. Now is the time to breed. You should try to breed roughly about 14 days before you put your birds together, if I remember right. I'd have to
Breed or vaccinate?
vaccinate. Did I say
You
something?
said breed. Yeah, that's I was
Before
confused.
you put your breeders together, you want to vaccinate. We have 2 vaccinations, a PMV and a paratyphoid. And people ask me how to do it. Just go to our website. We've shown it on this show before, but just go to our website. There's a veterinarian there on the site. Do you have any idea what it's under? Vaccination or on the
No.
site? No, but it's on the site and it shows you how to do it, and makes it so much easier for you. And yes, the question we get a lot of questions about can I do them both at the same time. At one time you could not, but now you can because they're both water-based. So if you're thinking about vaccinating, it's PMV and paratyphoid should be done. I know it's repetitious, but we get new people all the time. That if you're going to vaccinate, and I just this minute lost my train of thought. Did you see? Woohoo! There goes my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Vaccinating
Oh,
the birds.
vaccinating, yeah. But if you really have to vaccinate twice if your birds have not been vaccinated previously. So all of your 2019 birds need both shots 2 times. If the birds have been vaccinated, and we're going to be talking about record keeping, and it's very important that you do that. But in vaccinating, you should keep track because maybe you don't know which birds from 2018 were vaccinated. If you don't, you got to do them twice too. The first time a bird ever gets vaccinated gets 2 shots. Very, very important. If you have a question on that, just put it up on the screen for us and we'll explain it even better, or you can call it. Sam is calling.
Manny first. He said he's negative 12 today, and the birds seem to have trouble walking in the severe cold. Not all the way.
Negative. Don't shut that door too close. Thank you. I am 12 today.
Negative 12. The weather.
Oh, the weather. Okay.
Negative 12 degrees.
Well, you know, I get these questions a lot, but I think I already mentioned it. Cold weather doesn't affect your birds. It's the healthiest time of the year. You know, like what's the Christmas song? It's the happiest time of the year. Well, the healthiest time of the year is now. The birds have come through their molt, all new feathers. They're not bothered by the heat that we have in the summertime. So this is a great time to look at pigeons. That's why almost all of your shows are late in the year. It's when they're really, really standing out and pretty. So it's not too cold.
So is there something wrong with them that they can't walk? They're having a hard time walking?
Geez. I don't think so, man. You shouldn't. The weather should not have anything to do with it. Minus 12, that is cold. No question about that. Very cold. What I would say, just watch them for the next few days. There are some diseases that affect the joint. One is PMV, but it's not in both legs. It's usually in one leg. So, man, give it another week. Then if that's a problem, call me at the store or call me. The girls will give you my home phone number, and I'll see if I can help you. I don't think it's a problem, though.
Sam asked, what's the difference between IF and AU bands? He's the one that you sent the letter to.
Oh, well, hi, Sam. I just was asked to autograph an order or something, right? I wrote a whole letter to you and dated it and gave you my signature and everything. I usually charge for my signature on anything. So if because it's Christmas, it's nothing. But anyways, IF and AU. You want to explain it? You want me to do it?
Go ahead.
No, then you
IF
do it.
is the International Federation, and AU is American Racing Pigeon Union.
Mm-hmm. The IF is being the International Federation, is a national racing pigeon organization, much like the National Pigeon Association, mostly in the northeastern part of the United States. But it's been around for years and years and years, and a lot of clubs use the IF band exclusively. Cost-wise, they're the same. The American Racing Pigeon Union is a larger group. It's all over the United States, and many, many, many clubs use the AU band. That's the only thing. If you plan on racing your birds, you should contact your local club, and you probably already know. Ask them, should they ban AU or IF, or are either one of them acceptable before you order? Because if you have IF and you go to your local club or you just joined or something, they may not let you fly with them, or the same with the AU if it's an IF club. I hope I haven't confused you, but there's really no difference in the size, no difference in the color. It's just 2 different organizations. just like we have IPB. That stands for the International Pigeon
Independent pigeon breeder.
Independent Pigeon Breeder. And we sell NPA. We sell more NPA than anything else. National Pigeon Association, which come in 14 different sizes. Okay.
Not 14.
Pardon?
Not 14.
What did I say?
10, 12. 8 different sizes. You said 14 different
Oh,
sizes.
we have them
Goes
up.
to
She
size
just waits
14.
until I make them. Just waits until I make a darn mistake, and she has to point it out.
Well, somebody will come back and say, "Well, Jerry said they made 14 different sizes."
And what would you say?
He made a mistake.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, then only one person knows, not 100,000 people.
I'm sure several people knew.
Okay.
But anyways.
Hamza
Okay.
has a question.
What about babies? At what age should they be vaccinated?
I have actually vaccinated them in the nest when they're almost ready to fill out. But rule of thumb is do it when they're weaned. That's when, if you turn the bird upside down and you look at its feather pattern underneath the wings, if you see no skin, they're completely weaned. And if you have some in a nest that you want to vaccinate, if they're almost ready to come out of the nest, you can do it then too.
Another question. What is the sign for fastest pigeon?
Well, JV, if there was such a thing that's an absolute, you'd win every time if nobody else knew it. I guess I'm trying to be funny, but there is no exact sign of what a racing pigeon, whether a racing pigeon is going to be the fastest or not. Some people go by what we call eye sign, and they look at the eye. And in fact, books have been written about that. I think we sell a book on eye sign, if I remember right. And they swear by the eye sign, the orange, the color, the pupil, the brightness, all those kind of things. So that's an eye sign. Another one is people will open the wing, and depending on a certain number of the flight feathers, if one comes out further than the other, there are so many different ways just by handling them, feeling their vent. Everybody has a different, I shouldn't say everybody, but so many folks do have a different idea. There is no answer to it. But if I were to guess which would be the best, or suggest which would be the best, would be the condition of the bird when you hold it. And you feel it, you know it. The feathers are smooth, the eyes are bright, but there's no way to know fastest. Boy, if I did, I'd be a millionaire. I'd enter that $1 million race and I'd have the fastest pigeon. But thank you for the question. It's an obvious question. Yeah, I'd be flying a bird. It would be called Gina's Pride. That's what I would do. Okay. What else do we want to talk about today?
Record keeping.
Okay. Before we do that, we want your questions, and you help our show be better. So if you have a question, don't worry about sending it. Please do. It makes the show so much better. And if you have thoughts about what new products in the catalog, in fact, I talked to John Raber today, and he came up. You haven't heard this, so everybody will hear. Where we think we're going to be selling wind, the things that spin in the air, wind. What do you call them? Somebody send it in to me. Weather vane. There it is.
Yeah.
Weather vanes. He wanted to know whether we'd be interested in selling weather vanes with the pigeons on them. And he said his friend has the ability to put up the different breeds, not just racing homers, but all these different breeds. So he's talking to the guy, and I kidded him. John's an Amish man who has no electricity and has a workshop, but it's all done with batteries and with a generator. But John has a friend, and I was kidding him because I said, John, you're Amish. I said, you must have seen so many changes in the Amish people, because you're talking to me about lasers. you probably didn't know what the heck the word laser meant 10 years ago. And he laughed and said the same. So there's a good chance we'll be selling. Probably won't get into the new catalog, but we'll put them on the website. So that's something that's coming down the road. We're going to have the wind
Weather vane
weather vanes.
with pigeons on them.
There's a question for you.
I know. I was going to say something, and you made me. If, like he was saying, if you have a question, it does not have to be about a topic that we're discussing at the moment. Mm-hmm. It can be about anything.
Yeah, and we used to have a feature, Ask Anything, and we haven't had many of the questions. We haven't talked about that much because all the questions are generally is how come Gina's so pretty and you're so ugly?
I was talking about any pigeon questions you have, not necessarily on the topic.
Okay.
But any questions you have.
We're going to talk about record keeping. We haven't got to that yet.
Yeah, but we got a question.
Okay, I wanted to mention too that I have added to my pigeon feed. Most of you know this is the time of the year to add some corn to, if you're living in a cold area. Corn builds body fat, so it helps keep them warmer.
Is that my problem?
But
Is that my problem?
That's not your problem. I've been using the Versalaga energy corn as a supplement to my feed. The birds absolutely love it. I put food in their tray and I put a little bit of the energy corn, and they'll eat that energy corn before they'll eat anything else. In fact, I was my water was froze this morning. So I put the feed with the Versalaga's energy corn in the tray, and the ice was solid from last night. So I filled the water jug or the water pan after I put the energy corn on, and now they were thirsty. They went right to the energy corn before they went to the water. So something in there they must really like.
Wow.
I'll shut up. I sometimes overpower you, don't I?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's quite all right. Michael asked if Versalaga feed is in yet. No, Michael, it's not in yet. Probably sometime towards the end of January.
Oh, because of the container? Or I thought we got that directly out of Florida.
No.
No, it all comes in a container. Okay. Mm-hmm. Will we sit down and order the container and all of that, or it's on the way?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. We're doing our very best. You're frustrated with Versalaga?
No.
With me?
No.
The whole damn world?
No.
No.
So, Versalaga feed will possibly be in by the end of January.
Okay. I'm trying to shut up. Go ahead.
Record keeping.
Okay.
At it.
Well, when discussing what we're going to do for a show, we actually do have a pretty good agenda, but for some reason I seem to sway away from that agenda on a regular basis. I wanted to talk about record keeping. We've talked about banding your birds. We talked about the IF and AU bands and so forth. Those are seamless bands. And what you want to do is start record keeping, because a lot of people, we'll talk about that first. That's a good idea. Okay. How do you develop a pedigree on a pigeon? A pedigree means generation after generation after generation. And the racing homer people are very, very much asking about pedigreed birds. And we sell them occasionally, but unless you can go back 3 or 4 generations, what do you know, where do you know where the birds came from? And there's a reason for wanting to know that. In a show, you raised a breed and you showed it, and it won. Let's say it won best of show. And now people are going to say, hey, can I buy some of those? Would you raise me some? If you don't have the pedigree to go back 2 or 3 or 4 generations, how are you going to repeat that breeding? You've got to put the exact family together in order to do it. So without records like a pedigree record, how are you going to do it? So number one, you want a breeding record book. When the eggs are laid, first of all, it starts out, I'm sure you can see, it says pair. So the pair is number 1. Then it says mated. So you put down the date that you put those birds together. Strain. Now, with racing pigeons, strain is very important. There are many different strains from Jansons and Hubans and Hoovers and Black Eagles and Black Diamonds. There's all these different strains. So you want to put down the strain because if you decide you want to repeat the process, you want to keep the same strain, and you only can do that through record keeping. Then the sire and the dam, that's the mother and the father on both sides, and then it wants to know the date the first egg was laid, when it was hatched, the band number. Without a band, you have no pedigree ever, because how can you prove the bird doesn't have a band? The color and a little bit of a space for remarks. And then Gina, you can talk about that one.
This is the breeding record card, which is basically the same as the book. It's just a little card, and you can post it up in the loft with the card holder, and it just slides in there. Maybe.
Oh, it does.
I know. I'm just trying to do it backwards. And then you have it posted up, but pretty much all the same information as Jerry just went over. With the cock and the hen, the color, the mother, the father, the band number.
And that goes on the nest box, in the back of the nest box, on the side of the nest box.
So wherever you want to put it.
You can write the information on that,
Right.
and then take that in and transfer it to a permanent record keeping.
Right.
Then we have that in two sizes. This one does not come with the frame,
Right.
but it's here again. Keep it in a book or punch a couple of holes in it and put it in a notebook. But it has all basic same information. Then I mentioned this one here. You write it down and transfer it. This one is what's called the loft.
Pocket.
It goes in your pocket, loft pocket register. Basically all of the same information. By God, it's even got our phone number in there. What a coincidence.
That's
I wonder when that happened. But if you need us, you can see it's good record keeping. If in order to either produce a pedigree, well, what if you don't care about a pedigree? You're not going to sell any of your birds, but you want to repeat. You raise a good quality pigeon. You want to get a book like this and go back 2 or 3 generations so that you can repeat the whole process through mating. And then we have this one. So everybody has a different idea of what's good for them. So here again, same thing. They're inexpensive, but now's the time to start record keeping if you haven't done it before. Don't wait and try to remember and go back to what you thought it was. Write it down as it happens. So we do have a complete.
And like Jerry said earlier, you can log in here what when you give them a vaccine, what vaccine.
Yeah. Whether they were vaccinated or when they were vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another use for that. It's good. You're learning this business. Pretty good.
Here's another one. It goes in a 3-ring binder. Basically the same thing, just on a card, and put it in a binder. Well, that was pretty quick and easy.
Well, we've got a couple of questions.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to step out and get the energy corn, okay?
Oh, go ahead. So, Sam asks, is the corn good in winter and summer? It doesn't cause any sicknesses?
The answer is it does not. Well, you can use corn year-round, and a lot of people do. But the important thing is that it is given to them in the winter,
Right.
because it creates fat and body heat.
Right. And Brian asked what the energy corn is. Brian, Jerry's getting a bag of that, but it is a Versalaga product. They have several different ones. So Jerry's going to talk about that. Jeez.
Oh, our space is very limited here. If I was any fluffier, I wouldn't be able to get in here. All right. Keep in mind, this is not a feed. It's a supplement, and it comes in 3 or 4 different types: success corn, energy corn, carrot corn, and they're all in our catalog. Or if not, are they all in there now?
No.
Okay, they will be in the next catalog. But it's tiny little pellets, but they're round. And you feed your birds whatever you normally do, and you add this to that mixture. How much you want to put in isn't terribly important because it depends on how many birds you have and how much feed you use every day. So I add that every day now, and I can see it's made a difference. The birds just love it, and the feathering, God, the feathering is so pretty right now. When you go into the loft, they're almost shining. That's energy corn.
There's also vitamins and minerals in it.
Well, I'm not going to bother going through the whole list, but there's a lot of different things in there. Versalaga is one of the most well-recognized pigeon feed producers in the world, and we're very fortunate to sell their line. But it's hard to order feed months and months in advance because you never know who's going to walk in and want to buy 20 bags, 50 bags, whatever it is, 10 bags. And we have to buy by container, have it shipped from Belgium to here, which takes a month or so to get. So we appreciate your patience. And if you want to try these, I'm not talking about the energy corn, I'm talking about the regular corn. The best thing is to buy a 3 or 4 month supply to be sure you have enough, and it won't go bad. I've got feed that's I use to my birds. Sometimes we have feed left over for whatever reason, we disconnect it or discontinue it, and I'll use it whether it's a year old or not. So don't be concerned about that. Boy, it's really great to get all these questions.
Yes, it is. So what would you recommend, popcorn or cracked corn?
Never, ever, ever, never use cracked corn. Cracked corn is asking for trouble. It should always be kernel corn. You can buy kernel corn. You think sometimes the corn is too big. Most of the breeds, rollers on up in size, can eat whole kernel corn, and popcorn is fine too. Nutritionally, they're exactly the same. But don't use cracked corn. The reason you don't want to use cracked corn is it's cracked open, and all corn has a shell around it. When you crack it open, you're exposing it to the weather and the bugs, and it's just not a good idea to use it. I know people have used it in the past, but you'll never ever see a quality pigeon feed with cracked corn in it. It's not good for the birds. You're going to answer the next question.
Okay. Sam asked, PMV vaccines one time in a year or one time in a life? Sam, if you've never vaccinated with PMV before, the first time you vaccinate is going to be 2 shots. You're going to give 1 shot, and then in 3 to 4 weeks later, the booster shot. And then PMV is annually, so every year you have to give a PMV shot.
Yeah, and PMV is once a year, is what you were saying, and paratyphoid is every 6 months. Because I get confused. I have to keep asking you that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, my brain is confused. I'm not. I'm perfectly normal. It's a
Yes,
damn
you
brain
are.
of mine.
So Sam, PMV, if you never vaccinated before, 2 initial shots and then once a year. Okay.
We're going to be going to some shows over the next
Yes.
2 weeks down the road. We've got 2 more shows this year. If you want the opportunity for us to bring product to you, or if you want to go to the show. Two left as far as we're concerned.
So January 3rd is the Fremont, Ohio show. We can't take anything big. We just take the pickup truck, and we already got a lot of stuff, pre-orders to take for that show. So we can't take little stuff, or you can buy stuff there. Just keep in mind that we do not take a lot of stuff to that show. A lot of big stuff we don't take. So what we take is what we have, and when we run out, we
Fremont
run out.
is a smaller show. What, 1,000 birds? I really can't remember what it is. But it's a smaller show. We go because we like Jim, who runs the show. And we go because it's what, 2.5 hour drive?
3.
3 hour drive, which is pretty much, that's an easy one. It isn't like going to Iowa, which is 12 hours or so. But that's Fremont's easy. But if you want something fairly small, we'll be glad to bring it for you. But well, that's right around the corner.
If you want vaccines, you save shipping on vaccines, which can be expensive. So, anyways, Fremont, January 3rd. The following weekend, January 10th, is Lancaster. You can pre-order larger items for that show. You do have to prepay for your items that you order. Unfortunately, we cannot take any more 50-pound bags of stuff to Lancaster.
Got that much. We got
We got
literally tons of it going to
Yes.
Lancaster.
already, yeah. But if you need big items, baskets, nest boxes, large drinkers, anything else you need, pretty much we can take.
Order as early as you possibly can.
Yeah, we have a lot of orders already. So
And we leave usually the day before. A lot of people call us the day before or the day of
Day
the
of.
show. It's too late.
we're gone
Like we leave for Lancaster on a Wednesday,
Thursday,
Thursday. So we're actually the truck is completely full Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We get up early and drive to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So if you're thinking about ordering, make it the first or second, because if you, when I say first or second, don't wait until the last minute.
Right.
There's a good chance we're gone or the truck's already full, and that does happen.
And we do not take year bands to the shows. So if you want us to bring year bands, you need to pre-order them, and we'll have them there waiting for you.
Oh, great point, because so many people do walk up and want their 2020 bands.
Right.
We just don't have the time to do that, because when you sell the 2020 bands, like all bands, we have to record them. We have to get your name, your address, your telephone number, and how many you bought, and there's a lot of information. We just don't have the time, because if you've been to the Lancaster show, you know how busy we are. I talked to a gentleman from North Carolina, and he's driving up with his family. He never even knew it. He says, heck, that's only a 5 or 6 hour drive. I'm going to be there. I want to see this. So, and then, of course, after that is Grand National that we're not going to.
Correct.
But if you're in the Southwest or in the South, the Grand National for the National Pigeon Association is in Amarillo, Texas. And it's a great show. We just won't be there this year for a couple of different reasons, but it's an opportunity to see some of the best pigeons in the United States in Amarillo.
Yep.
Okay.
Another question. Travis asked, "Are you open January 1st?" No, sir, we're not. No.
Glad to say. No, Christmas,
we're
we're
not.
taking Christmas Day. We're taking, go ahead, you explain it better. than me.
Christmas Day, day after Christmas, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day.
So we're closed,
Right?
something like that. We are, no, I think
Yes.
we're, okay.
Let
We're
me look
closed.
at the calendar.
January 1st, in answer to Travis's question, yeah, we're closed on January 1st and we're
Yeah.
closed on Christmas Day.
Yes. That. I gave you the wrong information the other day. I thought Christmas was on Thursday, so I said we're off on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So no, we're off
And I
Wednesday,
blabbered about it
Thursday.
and told everybody about it, and here it was wrong anyway. So.
My apologies.
Once again, if you want to write my home phone number down, I get a lot of calls. I am retired from the company, but enjoying myself doing back and forth. I don't come in every day, do I anymore?
No. Thank you,
But
Jesus.
most of my time is spent creating the catalog with Veronica and Gina, and I also spend a lot of time answering questions about health. And I'm thinking of going on another vacation so I can. Remember, did I tell you I'm going to write that respiratory book?
No.
Yeah, I'm going to do that darn thing. I want to get it done.
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah. No. Biggest issue with pigeon health is always respiratory. A lot of people think it's all one thing, or they think because they're breathing with their mouth open, or their droppings are green, or whatever. Everybody wants to think about respiratory first, and it is very prominent. But we're going to be talking in that book. Please, last book took me 5 years. The one before that took a year. But this one I'm expecting to take probably a year to do.
Can we get the catalog done first?
Yep. I'm not going on vacation until the catalog is done.
Okay. He says he's retired, but let me tell you how many emails a day I get from him.
Well, it's because it's a catalog time.
And
right?
he always says, he'll come in, he'll be like, "Gina, you didn't respond to me." I ain't been at my desk all day, I'm working. He thinks I just sit there all day and wait for his emails.
Well, when you're somebody as old as I am, you got to give me a little leeway.
And then coming back from the weekend, oh my goodness, forget it.
I do work 7 days a week, not 8 hours a day, but I do work.
I
7
know you
days
do.
and thrive on it.
I don't.
724 is my home phone number. 724-462.
No.
No. 724-359-5355. I always
He
want
was
to give
trying
up.
to get a cell phone
I
number
always want to
out.
give up my cell phone.
I know.
724-359-5355. I asked, try to call between 9 and 5 Eastern time.
Eastern.
A lot of times if they're calling me, oh, I've got calls at 10 and 11 o'clock at night. I've got calls very early in the morning. I try to stay with the same schedule that the store is open. We're open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Generally speaking, I answer the phone 9 through 5. And if you call at 6 or 7 o'clock Eastern time, I'm just trying not to answer a lot of times. I'm eating or reading or whatever. Got a question?
Tending to your pigeons.
Yes. Yeah. I love taking care of the pigeons this time of the year because it's breeding season. It's a lot of, to me, it's a lot of fun.
You helped me save a bunch of my birds by guiding me through with adenovirus. Thank you so much.
Well, that's great. I had that
do.
letter. Would you read? Is that the letter
Can
that?
you finish commenting to him?
Huh? Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. Finish the comment?
No, I said, can you just finish? You quickly thanked him, but
Oh, well, I thank everybody that send in questions. The adeno and the circovirus is everywhere in the United States right now, and I can only thank Mike Owens for helping me and suggesting this, not a treatment, but if you get the adeno or the circovirus, there's a product called Nutri Drops, N-U-T-R-I, Nutri Drops. It's an all-natural product. Viruses are not treatable, and antibiotics don't help. But I will tell you that this Nutri-Drops, combined sometimes with an antibiotic, seems to stop it. And evidently for that gentleman it did. And thank you. We get negative comments sometimes. It's always nice to get compliments, so thank you very much.
so I'm going to read this other one that we got an email about from Len. He said, thank you so much for calling me about my sick birds. They were dropping like flies, and you suspected I had a virus going through the flock. I began treating them with enrofloxacin, and they almost immediately seemed to get better, or at least the death rate slowed down. I followed that up with a probiotic, and then upon your suggestion, ordered some of the NutriDrops and used that for a couple of days. Now they seem pretty much normal and are eating again regularly. I lost about 36 birds total. Most died within the first few days. I will continue to use the drop several times a week. I hope I never have to deal with something like this again. Thanks again for your advice and support.
Very nice of him. Very nice of him to send it in. I wish I knew how it worked, but it evidently does. Not in every case. I'm not going to say buy NutriDrops and it's cured. It's not. But it does work for many, many people. If you have, and if it was me with the circovirus, I'm going all over the country, and the adenovirus all over the country. I think what does that cost? The NutriDrop, $22?
I think 24.
Whatever the expense is, it would seem to me I would have it, put it in the refrigerator and keep it. And if it starts, because if you get it, the bird looks perfectly healthy one day, dead the next day. In fact, I think I've shared with you one time I had it a number of years ago. I went in the loft and there was a bird sitting on a perch. And I went over and looked at it closely and picked it up, and here it was dead. It died that suddenly. It was on the perch and didn't even fall off onto the floor. It's a vicious disease to get. So if you had the NutriDrops there, because it serves other purposes also, it stimulates the immune system. With a strong immune system, it's able to fight off a lot of different diseases.
And it's a big seller.
Yeah.
We take that's one thing we do take a lot to the shows is the NutriDrops, because we pretty much, no matter how much we take, we sell out of it. Next question.
Gilbert is sending a question. I'm not even looking at the screen. I just guessed.
You just what a great guess. How many bags of the Belgian floor litter do I need for an 8x8 loft?
Okay. most of my lofts or sections, I don't have a loft 8 foot by 8 foot, but my lofts are divided mostly in 8 foot by 8 foot sections, 64 square feet. Minimum of 3, 4 is better. 2 is a little bit too thin, in my opinion. But if you're asking about it, I can talk a little bit about it. The product's great. I have 13 sections when they're all full. I've got lots of pigeons. I have the floor covering on every loft on the floor. I've repeated this before, but my system is all my perches are on the same wall. All the droppings drop to the same area, but of course there are the droppings elsewhere. But I go out with a pitchfork and an 8 by 8 loft for me to clean the floor in no more than 2 minutes. Now that sounds funny, but no more than 2 minutes. I'm in there with a pitchfork. I go right where all the droppings are under the perches. I pick them up with a pitchfork. It's about 18 inches wide, and put them into a cardboard box, and I'm done. So if you can clean a loft, 8 foot loft floor in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, not 3 minutes, probably closer to 1.5 minutes. It's a great advantage, saves so much time. Thank you for your question, Gil, and I hope I answered it to your satisfaction. The good thing about Belgium floor covering is it does what it's supposed to do. The bad thing is that it's expensive to ship, and that's why Gina was mentioning we can't take any more big bags of product. We've sold so much to take to Lancaster that it's just too heavy, you know. So if you need something as heavy as that, I guess it's just too late. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for your question. Have we covered everything? Can we shut the show down now?
No.
Okay.
If Veronica,
15 more minutes.
if Veronica would like to hand me the new basket, we can talk about that. Do you have a picture of that on there? No.
I'm going to scoot back a little bit. Stand up.
To me, Veronica.
Okay. Now, I don't want to conk you, Gina, but we're crowded here. This basket was designed by John Raber. He called and said, Jerry, I have a friend who has pigeons and wants me to make a special basket. He designed it. Do you mind if I do that? Because John's very much aware that we are his only customer, so he would never do anything for a person, even though it's his friend, without asking me if it was okay if he sold it to him. And I told him yes. I says, but make one for me and send it to me so we can see it. And it's in our next catalog. So can we put it on the chair, or can they see the top to bottom? Almost. Okay. This is the front of the basket. It has the 3/8 heavy duty dowel. I mean, really heavy duty. Well made. Everything that John makes is completely sanded, and we sell it unpainted. But if you wanted painted, you can do that yourself. Very easy to do. Now, to open it, can we turn the basket around? Completely around to the. Oh, I can do it this way. Yeah, you can do it that way. It's a 5-bird. There's 5 different divisions in here. One bird in each division. To open it, you drop the bird in. This inside here, this is made for large birds. You don't need this size for your racing homers or your rollers. But if you have big birds like the Indian fantail or the show king, it's big enough for them. The floor is all wire. So when you put them in here, and when I turn it around, I'll show you another advantage. When you put them in here, the droppings go through to the floor, which is a drawer beneath. So all of the screws are countersunk, so they're not going to stick up on you. You can see this is all exterior grade plywood, all completely smooth. And there's a dowel here that slides. So when you slide it all the way down here, it locks. Now every door is locked. You cannot open it. You can see they're all locked, and there's a locking device on the end so that this dowel won't move. Now we're going to turn it around. Go that way, okay? If you want to order the basket, you can pre-order it. It's called the deluxe basket, and I mean deluxe because there's so many advantages of a basket like this. You don't have a handle in the center. You don't need one. It picks up this way with recessed sides, so your fingers go there. Also, I wanted to show you that when the bird's in here and the droppings go through, there's this drawer comes out. All the droppings that are here, in here, it comes all the way out. You clean it, you put it back in. We put this leather handle on it, pull the drawer, because we didn't want something sticking out. Maybe you want to put them side by side, and you can do it this way. You can't do it with a handle that sticks out. So it's a beautiful basket. It's probably the best basket we have. It's for show birds. It's for large birds. It sells right now for $120, which sounds like a lot of money, but can you imagine the time it is to make a basket like that? There's a lot of time into it. Made by a professional person. It's the only one we're going to offer in our catalog is the 5 bird size. Yep. Okay.
Keep talking.
And if you want something like a 2 or a 3 or a 4 bird size, we'll make it. I talked to John about that. He said he'll make it, but it would be a custom size. When we put this in the catalog, he'll make a number of for us and we'll stock them. But if you want a 2, 3, or 4 bird size, that'll be available as a custom, but it'll cost you a little bit more money because he has to set the jig and set everything up to make one basket. So it's one of those things that we'll have available but not in stock. Okay? You want to move it over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to go that way. Okay. All right, thank you very much. The next auction I wanted to mention, we'll have an auction on January 3rd.
Yes.
Is that right? January 3rd. We're going to try something. I'm going to have 3 pair of pedigree racing homers next show, the January 3rd. They're going to be some really, really gorgeous, top quality racing pigeons. The reason I wanted to put them up this time of the year is a lot of people, and all of us, but especially the racing homer people, are now putting their birds together or buying new birds and are looking for top quality. So we're going to have some Jansons and some Hubins and a whole bunch of different strains on the next show. The minimum price is going to be $200 a pair. We sold a pair of these at the last show we had for $450. That tells you the top quality. If you're looking for great birds with a pedigree, we're going to have them on January 3rd. We'll have pictures of the 3 pair that Veronica will put up next week, I think. The week of the show. Yeah, the week of the show before. So we'll put all that information on. We do have a question from Ann.
Are NutriDrops something that you can give as a regular supplement?
I would think no. If you really want to do a regular supplement, one of the suggestions I have and the one that I use is called Ultra Pro. I'm a strong believer in the probiotics. Ultra is our ultra vitamin. What's it called? Ultra?
What?
No, it's
Vitamin and probiotic.
yeah. What's the vitamin?
It's just
it's our find it. Oh, my mind sometimes.
just the vitamin and probiotic.
Yeah, it's a top quality vitamin. Ultra vitamin is the one we have, and Ultra Pro is a combination of the 2 of them.
Ultimate vitamin.
Thank you. That's what I would do. It's water soluble. You don't have to use a whole lot of it. Minimum of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's a good. I get people who will use vitamins and they tell me they put it in their water once a week. Waste of time. It's like taking a vitamin on one day and thinking that vitamin is going to help you for 7 straight days. You need to put it in regularly. So my suggestion is a minimum of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, year round, unless you are adding something else to it, an antibiotic or something. You don't want to. I don't suggest you mix the two together. But Ann, thank you very much for your question.
The last basket we did not talk about is the ceremonial basket.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica will put a picture up there so they can see it. This is also made by John Raber. They come in two different sizes, a 15 bird and a 20 bird size. They come in white and they come in black, whether you want to do weddings or funerals or something else.
And the reason we offer them, and to my knowledge, we're the only people in the United States that sell them. Most of them were designed by myself, and then John also came up with some ideas for them. If you're doing a wedding or a funeral or a ceremony or a grand opening or something like that, you don't want to go there with a raggedy old basket. It certainly doesn't make a good first impressions, and you never get a second chance to make a first good impression. So go there like a professional and have neat, clean, well-constructed, pretty boxes or baskets, whatever you want to call them. We have them in heart-shaped. We have them as a special basket because when you do ceremonies, a lot of times those birds are going to sit there for half an hour or an hour, and they may get overheated. So we have them with super ventilation. We have them so that you can actually put a feeder and a drinking on the back, and we put a small opening with towels. The birds can stick their head through and get water and eat, because it's certainly water. You don't want them to become dehydrated. And also for the ceremonies, we have the ones that are, you push a button and the drawer drops down.
It's remote release.
Yeah, remote release. So we have a lot of options, and if you go into the catalog or onto our website, you'll see them. Sam has a question.
And this time of year is very busy for baskets, and like you were saying earlier, nest bowls, nest boxes, all that. So a lot of the ceremonial baskets were either low on or out of stock now. Within the last, I'd probably say 2 to 3 weeks, we've
Day after day.
packed so many baskets. Yeah, it's been crazy. So, yeah. So if you want any and we're out of stock, give us a call and I'll let you know when the soonest I can get you one.
Steelers are playing this weekend, aren't they?
I was just thinking about that a few minutes
We
ago.
haven't heard
Yes,
from
they
that
are.
gentleman. You know, they did have a good game the other day.
Yeah.
They did. Well, but they have 1 or 2 games a year. You know, got to give them credit for that.
Yep. I was going to mention that and I forgot. We have a question from Sam. My club's using electronic clocks. And they're so hard to find in the market. Is there any ways Voice can help with that?
Well, Sam, you've got a few minutes. What brand of clock are you looking for? Because there are 3 or 4 manufacturers of clocks, and if you tell me what brand you want, I might be able to help you. So give me a call at my house or email Foy's, and they'll forward it to me. Or if you've got a minute or two, we still have. We're not locked into time. We'll talk as long as we want.
Just send us a message back and let us know.
Did I tell you I hired somebody to clean my coops?
No.
Finally got to the age where I say the heck with it. I asked Dan, who works for us regularly 5 days a week, if he'd like to work on a Saturday here and there, and he's working tomorrow. And I'm going to teach him how to clean all of my lofts and sweep all the floors, and it's just going to be a blessing for me. I won't have to do it anymore, even though it's easy to do. So he was looking for some extra money, so maybe
Good.
for Christmas. But so now I
Awesome.
have a professional to come in and clean my coops. I can
always
brag.
nice.
Well, I don't clean them anymore, but if I was cleaning them, here's what I would do.
I guess that's the type of clock it is, TYPS.
Pardon?
That's the type of clock it is?
No. Types is not. I assumed he meant. Huh?
A brand or?
I thought it meant TYPE.
No,
TYPE.
he said that's the clock name.
I've never heard of it. Just never heard of that particular clock. I don't know what to tell you, Sam. I have some old Benzings, and I have some other old ones, which are metal but you're looking for the electronic clock, I'm sure, and you'd have to ask your club where they got them. I just plain don't know. I've never heard of that clock in the United States. Can't do anything other than that. Ask your club. Maybe the club can tell you where to get it, or all clubs have people who are coming and going and maybe want to sell a clock. I know I bought them that way myself. Wish I could have helped them more. All right, well, the show is pretty much over. We've talked about everything we've talked about. If you missed it, the highlight of the show was me showing you what a man, Mr. Britton, I'm trying to get that guy. Mr. Britton sent us some birds. I'll keep my hand right there. He sent us 4 beautiful white white Indian fantails. And at the beginning of the show, I was showing the people, and you know what pigeons do sometimes when they're under stress. And it went poop, and it smelled up the whole place. And I could still smell a little bit of it, but it's one of those bloopers on television. And the reason we have this covered here is because you can see what happened.
You can still smell it when you lift it.
All right, boys. Brought you the show. We hope you enjoyed it. It's certainly not planned. We have a little bit of an agenda, rather smelly, huh? My name is Jerry. This is Gina. We'll be doing the show January 3rd. Are you going to do the Merry Christmas stuff, all of that, and wish them Merry Christmas?
When you're done.
I released the odor again.
Yeah, it's horrible.
We love doing the show. We hope you like the show. And we'll next show, January 3rd, we'll be doing an auction, a special auction on pedigreed racing homers. If you really want to know what strains they're going to be, you can call me, and I'll be happy to tell you what we have. Can't sell them. But to you, we get a lot of people they see my birds, or the auction birds, and they want to buy them. I can't do that. I have to sell them on the Facebook auction for the Pigeon Charity. If you like our show and want to send us a small contribution, $5, $10, $50, whatever it is, it's invested. And when there are people in need that are a pigeon fancier, we do our very best to help them out. If you need more information, call me, or look in the catalog, or look on our website. My home phone number is 724. I'm just asking for trouble, aren't I? 359-5355.
I have to say something before we end. When we was at the Iowa show a couple weeks ago, a guy came up to me and said how much he enjoyed watching our show, and thank you and all that. So we was talking. He's like, "You look like you lost weight, Gina," and I was like, "Huh, thanks." I said, "But the camera really does put 10 or more pounds on you." I said, "I've actually gained weight." And there was somebody there. She's like, "You didn't have to tell him all that."
Yeah, man doesn't tell a woman.
So I thought it was pretty funny.
But we do get a lot of compliments, and
we do.
Not to make our heads big, but I think it comes across that we enjoy what we're doing. It's not necessarily planned. And I did get a letter an email from a gentleman who said, "I don't understand why you don't talk more about your products and stuff like that are available." But it isn't. It sounds corny, but we're not doing this necessarily. We're doing it certainly to help our business, but more so we're doing it to help the people. We got a call today. A guy said, "I need a white racing homer, a white cockbird," and he said, "I race them, and we have a race every year, and the top white bird gets the prize." And I can't remember what his name was, but I says, "I appreciate you calling me, but I don't have the birds you want." I says, "If you want white racing homer, I got it. If you want a white racing homer that's going to be competitive in a club race, no. My birds are to do weddings, funerals, ceremonies. They're not trained to fly fast. They're not trained to fly 100, 200, 300 miles. They're trained to 20, 30, 40, 50 miles away, no more than that." So he did say to me, that's I guess the point I was trying to make at the end of the call, he said, I wanted to thank you very much for being honest. He said, because I know you have white birds. You could have sent me a white bird, and I would have just shook my head and said it just wasn't a good one. So I appreciate it. And I actually went into the Racing Pigeon Digest and gave them 2 phone numbers to call people who have the white strain of top quality racing pigeons. Well,
So on that note, if you do have a product that you would like us to talk about or see, just send us an email, give us a call, send us a message on the live show.
yeah,
We'll be more than happy to talk about it and show it to you if you'd like to see it.
whether it's a feeder, drinker, basket, whatever it
matter
is,
what.
we'd be glad to
Yep.
do that.
So on that note,
I think it's time to say, what is it? Bing Crosby, no, not Bing. Bob Hope used to say, Merry Christmas. I forgot what he said.
So we'll see y'all again in 2 weeks. Thank you for tuning in with us. Go Steelers, and
Yes.
have a Merry Christmas.
Go Penguin. I'm watching
And a
them
Happy
tonight.
New Year. And a Happy New Year, because we won't
See
see
you
you
guys.
before then.